Hello and welcome. I'm Rahul. You're watching on my YouTube channel my talks, and if you're watching me consistently, welcome back to my channel. We always try to illuminate and enlighten certain points, where it is mostly related to science and technologies, cutting edge technologies, sometimes about motivational thoughts, because it is also important to have motivation, sometimes about metaphysical reality, metaphysical high vibrational state, that is what I advocate for. So all these things I talk about because I know exactly that if you want to ascend in this real life, because we have given this world a monetary condition, if we want to live this world in a better way, we have to be financially abundant. And if you don't have financial abundance, you will have scarcity, and that is what is the reality. You'll be despondent, or many times the world will not give that reverence that you yearn, that you have longing for. That is what really happens. So I try to show you exactly that how to have motivation, how to have positive thoughts, and how to have self-belief, because self-confidence is the key. You may acquire a skill set within some time, within very few time you'll be able to acquire and hone your skills. But for having self-confidence, you have to change your paradigm, and for paradigm shifting, meditative state, having positive habits, cultivation of positive habits, little changes in your daily life is required. Then only you can change your paradigm. And once your paradigm will shift, you will see that your tendency, your proclivity, to acquire new skill set will increase, and you will have that passion within you to acquire all those skill set that will make you a distinguished personality in your community, in your fraternity, and once you have those skill set, those self confidence, and those state of being, you will certainly be able to acquire all those things, all those financial abundance that you want, because monetary values had certain universal principle as well. Whoever wants to attract, monetary abundance, they need to change their paradigm. They need to vibrate in higher dimensions, in higher frequencies as well. Until unless they don't meet the criteria, money and abundance won't follow them. These are the realities. If you want to attract something, you have to become along with that very person who will have that particular skill set and that very particular mindset. And for acquiring that mindset, you have to hone your skills, you have to work on your class. And once you'll have that thought process in your mind that you have been up to those points, you can have that unfolding, that breakthrough that you crave. That is what is the reality, because having paradigm shift is important, and you can change your paradigm altogether once you vibrate in that very conditions, once you have that imagination over and over that you have been competent, you have acquired exactly those skill set, and not only skill set but the right mentality and right habits that are required. Once you will change your paradigm, you will see that abundance will follow you. But before that, you need to acquire positive habits. You have to cultivate the good habits. You have to cultivate the mindset that is required. Somebody say that, in order to have manifestations, you have to think like that, you have to walk like that, you have to talk like that. It happens, sometimes. But only thing, in your subconscious you should believe, not in conscious mind, but rather subconscious should believe that you are having those skill set and that's capability to retain those abundance. And once your subconscious will start working according to those principles which defines extraordinary people, which defines that distinguished quality you can have and distinguished personality you can also become, you can certainly attract those abundance. And that is what is the key. Subconscious and conscious mind. Conscious mind, when you are doing certain tasks with awakened mind and you're focused, but subconscious, back of your mind, everything happens, in auto mode. And that is where you have to do programming. If you can change your auto mode, that whatever skill set you want to acquire, that skill set is in your subconscious, always vibrating, always talking to yourself that yeah, you are competent, you are able to display that kind of quality, you are able to demonstrate that kind of quality. And all these things, if you will be able to perform, and your caliber will define that those skill set has been meeting up the requirement, the abundance will start flowing to you. Nobody can stop it. And even certain hindrances may come, certain impediments may come, but if you want to go through the process, initial energy inertia is required to overcome the challenges, and once you'll overcome that, you'll see that your destiny will change and you'll go steeply upward, and that is what is the reality about all those things and all those persons who are getting success in their life. They are changing their subconscious mind. They are living that very reality in their mind here. And once their subconscious defines that, universe automatically starts performing those things. Bringing those, those synchronicity and flowing of those kind of events. Unfolding of events as per their perspective, and that is what is the reality of today's. That is what I want to say you. So video is getting not longer, but I have a scarcity of time today. I will discuss about it in different ways, and what could be the values that you can create, with the metaphysical reality. Having focus, having intensity is important, having belief system. But belief in what? If you don't have inquisitive mind, if you don't question everything around, then having belief, having given belief is not going to perform the exact task that is required. And if you have been given certain dogmatic principles, certain principles of how to live and how to recognize, all those extraordinary things, especially about rituals, especially about, our laws of dharma, whatever you have been given. If you were carrying that, then you'll always be in sleep mode. If you're not inquisitive, if you don't have desire to question everything and bring answers to your own satisfaction, to your own mind, to your own soul, if that quest is not being quenched by you, then given principle won't work in any time in your life. And that is what you have to get absolved of all those given principles. You have to be inquisitive, you have to be someone who will question all things and will see from his own perceptions, everything that will be conceived in his mind, any principle that should be well verified and that should be well questioned in his mind. And once he will get all these testaments, that these are the truth and these are the bad things, once he will segregate that, then only he can have real foundations. And for making that very foundations, you have to believe in yourself that even universe wants to have that kind of extraordinary capability. If you'll possess and can see through the veils around how the universal forces even deceive, and how they all the time they're active, and they're checking you, they're testing you, and they're unfolding the reality in front of you in a different way, because the perpetual dimensions and perpetual search and quest is amazing. Once you will walk on that very path, you will see the reality. You will see that how manifestations of different incarnation may happen in metaphysical reality. How really long term perceptions and visualization can happen, and you will see that the reality really not only happens in higher dimensions but unfoldings. All things are synchronized. Once you'll see that the time is malleable event, once you'll see that how the universe synchronizes all that events around you and how it gives your cosmic memory back to you, once you awaken, once you are really tested, and once you surpass all those impediments and all those tests, you will see the reality from your own eyes. And once you will start believing that, after verifying and after absorbing, the reality, after observing the reality, you'll certainly be able to see all things together with a different lens. And once you'll have that vision, once you'll have that awakened state, the whole thing will change from there. And that is what is the reality. Once you'll be awakened, once you'll be enlightened, everything will change around you. Every fogs and veils will be going away, and the clarity will come. The intuition will tell you the reality, your star will guide you, and that is what will be the reality altogether. You'll be intact with your personality. Thank you for listening to me.